Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the different types of classroom tasks, ways to correcting students, and the importance of practicing our students. First, I would like to explain the difference between collaborative task and confrontational task. A collaborative task is an activity in which students work together to achieve a common goal. For example, students can work in pairs or small groups to solve a problem, create a presentation, or complete an information gap activity. In this type of task, students need to communicate, share ideas, and help each other. On the other hand, a confrontational task is an activity in which students have different opinions, positions, or information and they need to defend their ideas or reach a decision. For example, debate can be considered a confrontational task because students may have to argue for or against a particular idea. This difference also affects how students are sitting. During a collaborative activity, students usually sit facing each other, especially when they are working in pairs or groups. This arrangement makes communication and cooperation easier. In contrast, during a confrontational activity, students may sit facing each other or in a way that allows them to clearly see the people with different opinions. The important point is that classroom settings should support the type of interaction that the activity requires. Another important topic is correcting students. One gesture I can use to correct a student is to gently shake my head from side to side when the students makes a mistake. I can also use a facial expression or a hand gesture to show that something needs to be corrected without interrupting the students immediately. This can encourage students to think about their answer and correct themselves. This is related to the concept of recasting. Recasting is a way of correcting a student's mistakes by repeating what the student said but using the correct form without directly saying that it was wrong. For example, if a student says she go to school every day, I can respond she goes to school every day. In this way, the student hears the correct form, but the communication continues naturally. Now, I would like to explain the difference between product-oriented tasks and process-oriented tasks. A product-oriented task focuses mainly on the final result. For example, students may have to write a final paragraph, prepare a complete project, or give a final presentation. The teacher is mainly interested in what the students produce at the end. In contrast, a process-oriented task focuses on the steps students take to complete the activity. The teacher pays attention to how students think, communicate, solve problems, receive a feedback, and improve their work. For example, when students write a paragraph, the process may include brainstorming ideas, writing a first draft, receiving a feedback, making corrections, and producing a final version. Finally, praising the students is very important because it can motivate them and create a positive classroom environment. We should praise students when they can when they make a real effort, participate, improve, help their classmates, or successfully use a skill they have been practicing. However, praise should be specific and sincere. Instead of simply saying good job, we can say good job explaining your idea clearly. Or I like the way you work together with your group. This helps students understand exactly what they did well. We should also remember the praise is not only about getting the correct answer. Recognizing effort, progress, participation, and positive behavior can encourage students to continue learning and become more confident. In conclusion, understanding different types of tasks, using appropriate setting arrangements, correcting students carefully, and giving meaningful praise can help us create a more effective and supportive learning environment. Thank you for your listening.